Hello guys and welcome back to J Soccer Tips. My name is J, the King of Odds, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how you can actually make predictions for over 1.5 goals using a particular odd. The odd I'll be sharing with you is one of those odds that you may not need to use analysis in making these predictions. You just need to find those odds and you're likely to get your outcomes. So what we'll be doing now is that I've saved this particular page, RedScores, on my browser. I open up this morning, I load up the leagues on RedScores and I save the page. So once it's saved, you then need to go to Soccer24, have Soccer24 opened, and one thing you have to notice that on Soccer24, the odds are not Bet365 odds. While over here we have Bet365 odds, which are the odds that I actually make use of in making predictions. Now, as you can see here for the Manchester United game, you see Man U has 1.63 odds, while on RedScore it has 1.61 odd. That tells you that the odds are actually different. One is 1xBet and the other is for Bet365. So we are sticking to Bet365 on this video. All my odds are basically Bet365 odds. So what we're going to be doing now is selecting Ctrl F on our browser and then looking for 0.50 odd. And we can see the first game that comes up now is Aston Villa versus Bournemouth having 0.5 odd. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Now, you want to come over to Soccer24. Let's compare this. If you search for 0.50, the matches you'll be getting will be different. So you can see over here, we have Fulham versus Everton, and Everton is the game having the 0.52 odd. So what we are looking for is 0.50 odd, and you can see from this, Fulham Everton is having a different odd from this particular game, Fulham versus Everton. But for Aston Villa, we're having 0.50 at the RedScores site, and we're having here 0.68 for the draw odds on Soccer24. So they are different odds. Make no mistake about that. They are all different odds. So now that we have Aston Villa versus Bournemouth as 0.50 odd, now let's head over to Soccer24 and actually check this with analysis to see if it's a game that gives us over 1.5 goals before I even go ahead to tell you the odd you need to use for in making these predictions. So we open link in new tab and then we'll come over to the standings. And then from the standings, you want to look for over and under on your tab. Over and under, select that. Now you can see from the video I gave you on over 2.5 goals, prediction over 2.5 goals, you can see the odds that are needed to get you over 2.5 goals. It's similar here. 2.5 for Aston Villa on the goal margin, goal per match. And then Bournemouth is having 0.5 on the goal per match. So you can see this qualifies for an over 2.5 goals matches when it comes to the over 2.5 tab. You can come over to the 1.5 tab and also compare this, which you can see there are a lot of 1.5 goals for Bournemouth. But Aston Villa, it's not having enough. But if you check the over 2.5 goals, it tells you that this game is likely to give you 2.5 goals. So basically, over 1.5 goals is possible for this particular game. So we have another game, West Ham versus Burnley, having this particular odd 0.5 for the draw option. And if we come over to check for this particular game on Soccer24, West Ham, you can see this is 0.2 for the goal margin and Burnley 3 odd for the goal per match. Now if you come over to the 1.5 goal tab, you can see as well West Ham 3.2, Burnley 3 goals per match. So those two matches, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and then West Ham Burnley qualifies for this over 2.5 goals when it comes to making these predictions, just because of the fact they have 3.5 as their draw options. Now, the important thing we are looking out for today's predictions, we are looking out for any of these games that have 3.5 for the draw option, and the away odd has to be lower than the home odd, has to be 2 odd or lower than the home odd. So these particular games are likely to give you over 1.5 goals, even without analysis. There are many odds that can actually give you over 1.5 goals, but this, for noobs and for people who are just coming through with odds, you have to know that this will give you over 1.5 goals. So for Aston Villa Bournemouth, we've confirmed that this is actually what it looks like. And for Burnley West Ham, it's the same. We can go over to Newcastle. You can see this is different. Newcastle has a higher away odd and the home odd is lower. So there are ways you can make predictions for this particular Newcastle game. There are options that it can give you, but that is not what we're interested in today. We're interested in this particular odds that Aston Villa and West Ham are having for today, with the away odd being lower and the draw odd being 3.5. So that is the important aspect you are looking for. Every other odd having this 3.5, we will not be focusing on that. Now we're going to move on to see other games for the day having this particular odd. And if we click on down, it takes us down to the other odds we'll be having. So this is not one of those games. Rayo is not one of those games, but we have Hamburger having this particular odd 3.5 and away smaller than the home odd. So we are going to come over to Soccer 24 and then see this particular game, the analysis we can get from this game to actually verify. And you can see from this is the German Bundesliga, another high scoring leagues. So we open up this tab and head over to the standing once again. And when the standing loads up, remember the over 2.5 goals video, this applies. You come over to the over and under section and look at the goal per match. So you can see this is above what I told you from that video. 3.2 for Aiden M, and then for the opponent 2.5. So this qualifies for over 2.5 goals, and any game that can give you over 2.5 goals can as well give you 1.5 goals, because it needs to get to 1.5 before it gets to 2.5. So from the two games we have here, you can see Mainz doesn't qualify for this that I'm showing you, but Hamburger Edenham qualifies for it. And this can actually give you other outcomes in football predictions, but because we're not focusing on that, we are not interested in this particular odds using this structure. So we are going to actually close this Soccer 24 page and then continue scrolling to see what we are going to find. If we keep on scrolling, we have Cardiff as the next game having this particular odd, 2 odd, smaller odd for the away team, and then the home team is having the higher odd. So we'll keep on scrolling, but like I said, it doesn't mean that you will not be able to make predictions with other odds that you can find. Like for example, this Chesterfield 2.3 away 2.8. These are odds that actually have their own meaning when making predictions. So let's go ahead to keep on scrolling. We have Venezia versus Frosinone. This is Italy Serie B, one of those leagues that don't score a lot, but we can also make predictions from here, and let's see what it will actually give us. So let's proceed to the tab for this and then select standings. So most of you are familiar with all these steps I'm taking already. Now, if we head over to the over and under and look at the goal per match, we can see that this qualifies for over 2.5 goals. So if we head over to the 1.5 tab, we can see it qualifies perfectly for game that will give us 1.5. So Italy Serie B, even though it's low scoring, is not a game that I would likely want to pick from. It's not a league that I would want to pick from. So let's just close this and move on to another tab. But it tells us that it's likely to actually deliver that outcome for us. Now, we can see this other one, Young Boys versus Grasshopper, another particular high scoring league, Switzerland. Just to make this video fast, we're not going to be spending much time on this because we'll be checking this out after by the end of the day. So these are all these are from high scoring leagues, which is England League One, but I'm not focusing on this because of the odds we are actually looking at for. So we have another game, Rodinghausen Bochum. Now this is 2.15 away, lower than the home team, or 3.5 for the draw options. That is one game you can also use. We have Paxi Debrecen. Another game you can actually use Hungary, but I don't usually make predictions from Hungary, but we can actually take that for notes. Now we are going to look for other games that are on here. Now I think that is all for today. All the games we can find for today. I think we are having a total of 7 or 8 games that are having this particular odds we've looked at for. We started from Aston Villa. West Ham. So these games are the games we'll be looking out for by the end of the day to actually see if they give us over 1.5 goals. So I'll be showing you how to actually use this in coming up with a structure, because it is one thing to know a particular odd meaning. It's another thing to actually know how to use it with a structure. So let's come over to my bookie Sporty Bet. So with games like this, what you want to do is combine them with other games that can actually give you 4 odd or the odd you're looking out for. Now we can see Man U is here. Let's search for Man U. Tottenham. So if we head over to that place and select a straight win, we come over to look for Chelsea. Chelsea is 1.6. We can pick out Chelsea, and it will give us 2 odds when making these selections alone. Those 2 odds together, those 2 matches together will give us 2 odds. So this is Chelsea, and we can see we're having 2.7 odds, 72 odds already just with those 2 games. Now if we add the over 1.5 goals from those particular games like Aston Villa, West Ham and the Edinham, we are getting 4 odds. That is how it works when working with a structure. You are getting 4 odds. So now let's search for Aston Villa over 1.5 goals. So we have the over 1.5. We go over to over 1.5 and select this, which is 1.21 odd. Next up, we search for West Ham. So West Ham, Burnley. Head over to the over 1.5 type and select over 1.5. And this is 1.27 odd. We select this. Now you can see from this we are having 4 odd already just with these 3 games. So you see how a structure actually works for you to your advantage. Just with these 3 games, you are having 4 odd. Now you might want to use the different structure and not want to use straight wins like Man U and Chelsea. Maybe they are not safe enough. You can close this and then maybe use a game like having 2 odd or 1.9 odd, which are usually known for draws and those stuff. I'll make videos on that in the future. See Sevilla here, let's see 2.1. We're picking Sevilla for double chance. Now if we click double chance for Sevilla, instead of going for straight win, this is 1.29 odd. You can see this is 1.98 already with those 3 games. Let's head over to look for another good game, and I've seen Napoli. We can go for Napoli. Now this is Napoli 1.95. We can use Napoli for this. This is just random picks, but you'll get the idea. And then for the double chance option, we select this and we see 1.22. Now we're having 2.4 odd, 2.42 odd, which is not enough because we try to make the game safe, having Napoli and Sevilla as double chance. We need one more game to actually make up this ticket to be a 4 odd ticket, which is fine actually using over 1.5 goals and this double chance. But we know that we have Edinham for double over 1.5 goals, so having 3.5 odd. We can now come over here and search for Hamburger. Now for the Hamburger game, we select the over and then over 1.5 goals, which is 1.28 odd. So this is 3.10 odd. This is good enough if you're going to make predictions for 3 odd. This is a structure that you can actually work with when making this type of predictions. Now you can see with these games we have more matches on this compared to when you use the Man U and the Chelsea in making these particular predictions. But if we should also want to make it 4 odd, we can just go back to the Man U. Rather than picking straight wins, we can make it 1.6 odd double chance, and that will pick up our match total to around 4 odd. So Tottenham double chance will give us around 1.1 odd, 1.19 odd. And you can see from here we're having 3.68 odd, but the value in total is a 4 odd value, which is 204,000 if you're playing 50,000 naira stake. So with these 6 games you are having a 4 odd value. My bookie gives me bonuses, so I don't really need to add much matches on my ticket to actually get the value of the 4 odd I'm looking for. So you can see that this is how you actually make predictions for over 1.5 goals, and we'll be coming back at the end of this video, at the end of the day, to actually see these total games. I think 7 games we selected, how they actually fared at the end of the day, if they gave us over goals or not. So we'll be coming back to this video to do our checks. Make sure to follow JSoccerTips, subscribe, turn on post notification, like and share this video so you don't miss out on future updates. So guys, I'm back again and we are here to check out the outcome for the games we picked out for today, having over 1.5 goals. Remember I said the odds you need to look out for is 3.5 odds, and the away team needs to have the lower odd, lower 2 odd than the home team. And if we search for 3.5, the first game we saw was Aston Villa having 2.5 away and the home team having the higher odd 2.7. Now if we come over to see what they actually played out, we'll see that it's actually 1-1. Remember, we did the analysis where I said even Aston Villa was not that safe, but the bookies still told us that they were likely to give us over 1.5 goals. So even without analysis, you can see the game gave us over 1.5 goals. Now Aston Villa 1-1. That was how it played out. The next game we saw was West Ham 2.2 odd for the away team. The home team having the higher odd, 3 plus odd, and they also gave us 2-0, which is over 1.5 goals. I remember we also used the Manchester United, where we said if we had gone for a random odd that would win, let's say a straight win odd, where I picked Manchester United and Chelsea, we can see on this the Man U won, and then Chelsea also won. So on the tickets we created, the hypothetical tickets we created, Man U, Chelsea, Tottenham, Aston Villa, West Ham, and then there was another game we also picked that was having a lower away odd and a higher home odd for 3.5 with the draw odd. And that should be this ADM game, hamburger. You see, this is 2.37 away. The home team have a higher odd, and this is 3.5. Now, if we go over to Germany and check Heidenheim, you can see it's also 2-0 over 1.5 goals. See that over 1.5 goals. So basically that is how you actually make predictions using this particular odd. With the structure you are having, your chances of winning these things even without having to do analysis is very high, because you already know that this particular game is likely to give you over 1.5 goals. So you picking out that game and then mixing up with something like a straight win odd, 2 straight win odd, like I said, where I gave you Man U and Chelsea, that was 4 odd. So we've basically won 4 odds just with 3 first games we saw having those odds, and then the extra 2 games I picked and added to it, which is Man U and Chelsea. We've won 4 odds. Now, if we keep on going, let's just see other games that might have given us over 1.5 goals having that particular odd. This was the Aiden game, and the next was Cardiff. Now let's see what Cardiff actually gave us. Now, Cadiz gave us 3 goals. So, over 1.5 goals also played out 3 goals in this game. So, we've won 4 out of 4, having this particular 3.5 odd, with the away team having a lower odd of 2 plus odd, that is lower than the home team odd, because that's the criteria you need for this. There are many other odds that you can actually use to get over 1.5 goals. Like I said, I'm not trying to bombard you with a lot of information. I'm just giving you things that would work out for you, even if you're an amateur, even if you're new to odds betting. And if you're new to odds betting, watch my video on Betting Odds Explained to get an idea on how to use betting odds in making predictions. Don't forget to also subscribe, like, and share this video so you don't miss out on future updates. Now let's proceed to look at other games having that particular odd, with the away team having the lower odd. Now there are other odds you can use for over 1.5 goals. So the more you know, the better your chances of winning. But I am working based on structures, right? Structures is the fundamentals of using odds. So if you don't know about structures, watch the video on structures. That would actually help you out. Watch the video on structures. If you have a structure, you already know what you are going to look out for the day. If I wanted to use another structure, let's say the structure is a structure of 2.15. I know what I'm looking out to pick for a game having 2.15. It might be double chance, it might be X or go, it might be home win and over 2.5 goals. Depending on what the structure indicates for that odd, I will pick those tips and then add what I need to add to get me my 4 or 10 or whatever I'm trying to get for the day. So there are other odds you can actually use in making predictions. This is just assuming we are using this structure in making that particular predictions for over 1.5 goals and 2 straight wins. I think we also picked them. It was Man U, Chelsea, Aston Villa, West Ham, Heidenheim. I don't know, but that was way back and I can't recall that again. So we'll keep on going, and we saw Young Boys Grasshopper. Now let's see for Young Boys Grasshopper. Now this is also 1-1 over 1.5 goals, 1-1. So you can see that out of 5 games we've gotten 5 over 1.5 goals. We'll go further and see other games as well. So 5 out of 5 currently. Even 1.5 or 1.95 odd has its own meaning. So just stay tuned, follow J Soccer Tips. Make sure you are with me for future insights. So this is Rodenhausen, Regional Liga, Germany. Now let's search for Bochum. Now you can see this is also 2-0. So 6 games out of 6 with over 1.5 goals. Now, if you picked 3 games for over 1.5 goals on the first ticket, we are getting 6 currently now. And you pick the next 3 games on another ticket with mixing up with straight wins. You've gotten 2 tickets, right? You will now be hoping for the 2 straight wins or whatever you've used to form up your structure to actually win for you. On the first one, Man U and Chelsea has delivered. On the second one, having the next 3 games for the over 1.5 goals, maybe it is Napoli, maybe it is yeah, I remember we picked Napoli here as well for double chance. I think Napoli actually gave us double chance. So maybe it's Napoli you used, maybe it's another team you used. When you combine those two and the over 1.5 goals, you've gotten another 4 odd win. So you see, this is how these things actually do work. A structure is actually what helps you. Let's see for Paxi Hungary. Now, this should be Pax. Now, they gave us 1 goal only. They did not deliver for us. So, we've gotten 7 tickets and 1 losses. 7 matches and 1 loss. So, they scored in the 50th minute and didn't score again. So, that's it for Paxi. That is 1 out of 7. So just trying to round up this video very quick so it doesn't take a lot of time. So as you can see, we had 7 games with that particular odd for today and 6 of them actually won. So you can see the massive accuracy that using odds gives to you in making predictions, and using a structure can help you actually win in making predictions. So if we are creating 2 tickets and 3 over 1.5 goals are in each ticket with that structure, it means that we've luckily avoided the 7th game, because we would not need to use the 7th game on any ticket because it doesn't make up 3 over 1.5 goals. So the 2 over 1.5 goals, the 3 over 1.5 goals we've gotten for both tickets were enough. We use Man U as well for double chance to form up a structure. We used Chelsea with the Man U game. It was then Aston Villa, West Ham, and Edinham that we added to it. But I think we used Sevilla. Yeah, we used Sevilla for double chance. We also used Napoli for double chance as well. I remember in the first half of the video we used those 2. So that is how it's easy for you to actually get a win when using this particular odds in making over 1.5 goals. So don't forget to follow this channel, subscribe, like, and share my videos. More videos will be coming soon. J Soccer Tips. Hit me up on WhatsApp. The number is in the pinned comment. See you guys. Bye.